Welcome to the SimplyPats learning channel. If you're carrying out portable appliance testing as a contractor, you will almost certainly want to provide your customers with detailed reports and a certificate on the completion of each job. Not only can you include your company logo and a signature if required, you can also change the colour of the reports to match your company branding. Common reports include appliance register, pass and fail report, and a certificate of testing, and also a folder cover. For those carrying out PAT testing in-house and of particular interest in the hire industry is the ability to produce a report with the details for a single appliance. This report can then be printed out and stored along with the appliance when it comes back into stock. The reporting solution in SimplyPats also gives you the ability to just include appliances from a certain site or location, or you can just print out a report with appliances that have been tested on a certain date or within a date range, or you can produce a report which details those items need retesting within a certain date range. We will be going through all of these options during the course of the video, but first I just want to go through the recommended size and specification of your company logo if you want to include it. The max width should be no greater than 7.5 centimeters, with the height being no more than 4 centimeters. It should be cropped around the edges so it doesn't include too much white space. It needs to be a JPEG or bitmap graphics format and around about 150 to 300 dpi. It needs to be saved out under the RGB color depth, not CMYK. If you need help with this, just send us an email with your logo attached and we'll offer some assistance. Okay, so with SimplyPats running and the data file open, we can now look at adding our company details, logo and signature. To do this, we're going to click on Settings, Your Settings, and enter our company details under the Your Details tab, and we're going to bring in our logo under the Logos tab. Don't worry too much about the preview on this screen, that's not how the logo would appear. We also have option to add accreditation logos on the reports. These will appear on the V2 reports only and they appear just under the main header. These are logos such as organisations you're a member of, such as the NICIC or PATA. Just make sure you've got permission to use them. We're not going to use them in this example, but they're there if you want to include them on your reports. So click OK to save the changes and click on the print results icon to preview our report. Now the first thing we notice is that the report isn't centered on the page and our logo is a little bit on the small side. Also, we want to change some of the colors of the headers or the banners, so we can do that now via the print settings screen. So let's come out of the print preview, click on Settings, Print Settings, and first we're going to alter the logo size. We're going to make ours 30 millimeters in height, and we're going to go to the Margin and Colors tab, and we're going to bring in the left margin by 5 millimeters. Moving down to the Report Color Options section, we can select a preset color scheme for our report, or we can enter our own colors. Now we want to match one of the colors from our logo, and for that we need the red, green and blue values of the color we want to use. So if you load up any decent graphics package, you'll be able to pick the color and then find out the red, green and blue values of your logo, the exact color. So in SimplyPats I'm going to enter our RGB value, which is 196, 47, 163. Click OK, and now you'll see that color on the banner has changed to match our logo. I want to darken up the grey area next to it, so we'll just bring that down. Click OK. Click OK to save the changes on the print setup screen. Let's have a look at our report now we've applied the changes. I'm happy with the layout and the colour scheme, which will now be applied to all of the V2 reports that support that functionality. So let's have a look at some of the reports that are available. We click on the Preview Report drop-down menu. you'll now have a list of all the reports that are included with SimplyPats as standard. There's quite a few of them. So before we have a look at some of the examples, we're just going to thin this list out a bit. This will help with workflow. You won't have to trawl through the whole list when you want to print out reports. You'll probably only want to have access to a handful of reports that you print out on a regular basis. So to do this, we're going to go back to the print settings screen, click on the reports tab, and we're going to untick all of the reports that exist within the preview report list. Now we're just going to scroll down and select the reports that we want to appear in the preview report list. And while we're here, we're going to click on the Show Pat Testers Used List option and click OK to save the changes. Going back to the print results screen, we can see that our preview report menu now only includes the reports that we've selected. And we also have the Pat Tester details displayed on the report. This includes the serial number of the tester, make and model, the calibration certificate number, and the next calibration due date. You'll notice that we have a Use Custom Report option just above the Preview Report drop-down menu. And that's because we've installed a custom report for the particular selected report, the V2 passes and fails. Now, while SimplyPats doesn't include a user custom report generator, we can certainly provide custom reports on request, and they generally start from about £30. We will be looking at making some of the existing custom reports available online for purchase. However, if you want us to have a look at generating a custom report for you, we can certainly do that. Just get in touch with us. If we look at the differences in some of the custom reports, we've got a custom report loaded here, and we are on the V2 passes and fails, where we have the test results displayed earth continuity insulation, the default V2 passes and fails report includes the load and leakage. So we've removed those from this report. So now let's just have a look at some of the other reports we've got here. We've got the appliance register. Very basic overview of what's being tested. Again, we have a custom report loaded, which includes the company ID or the serial number of the appliance in this case, together with the engineer initials. The standard appliance register doesn't include this information, and it also includes the retest date and test date. And the retest date is being removed from our custom report. So let's have a look at another report where we can go through the print and export options. If you want to make a hard copy of the report, simply press the print button and that will send the selected report to your printer. If, however, you want to produce a digital document of the current selected report, we have various options available. By far the most common digital format would be PDF. Most people have the ability to open PDF documents. You could export the report in Word or Excel. If you want to do this, you'll be relying on the other person to have those programs installed. But also, we would recommend using the non-V2 reports if you want to use that export option. We're going to click on the PDF option. And I've already created a folder called Pat Reports. I recommend you do the same. And if you're a contractor, I would also recommend you create another folder or one folder for each of your customers. And I've also created additional folders for each year. Click Save, and now that's saved that report out as a PDF. So let's have a quick look at our exported PDF. If you're a contractor, you're probably going to want to send your customers their reports via email, in which case you just attach any PDFs you created to the email and send them that way. I, however, have saved my reports into a OneDrive folder, which is a cloud storage solution. And if I click on the Pat Reports folder, I can choose to share a specific folder with another person. So if I right click on the folder, RSR Systems Limited, and click on Share, I have the ability to enter their email address, or I can choose copy link, copy the link, and if I give that link in the email, anybody with that link can access that folder. It can be passworded as well. It's just a great way of allowing customers to view their own PAT reports whenever they want. And in this case, they'll have access to all of their PAT reports throughout the years. If you need to print out or export multiple reports, rather than generating them individually, you can use the print sequence option. If we click on edit sequence, we can set up our print sequence here. And we've got 4 reports in our sequence. And you just click on the drop down menu, select the report you want, and then we want to add a new one, you just click new and it will add a new line, and you repeat the process. You then select which printer you want to send them to and how many copies you want. We don't want to print any copies, so we set everything to 0. However, we do want to PDF them. We can also choose which path the reports get saved to. I've chosen to manually set a path, and that's up here at the top, and you just click on folder to set that. You can prompt for a dialog path and it will ask you where you want to save them when you go through the print sequence. You can also create a single PDF of all the individual reports, and you can delete individual reports after it's created a single PDF. So that's how it's set. Let's just close that down to save it and press the print sequence button. It will warn you you're about to create a large number of reports. And then it'll tell you when it's finished. Now if we look in our folder for RSR Systems 2019, we can see it's just created that sequence of 4 reports. We also have some filtering options on the print results screen. If we just want to include appliances from a certain site or location, we can untick the all locations and select the site we want, and now that's just included those appliances within that site. We can also include appliances from within a certain retest date, so 2nd of October to the 31st, and now that's just included all the items that need retesting within that date range. And we can do the same with test dates, so we can include just those items that have been tested within a certain date range. From the main screen, we can also create reports that contain just selected appliances. So if we wanted a report with just Dell monitors, we could sort the app description column alphabetically, select the first Dell monitor, hold down Shift on the keyboard and select the last one. And now when we press print, we'll have a report that just contains the selected appliances. We can also select individual appliances by holding down Control on our keyboard and left clicking each appliance. Press print. Again, it's just included those appliances. So let's say we want to produce a report that just shows all of our Dell monitors in Classroom 1. If we drag and drop the app description into the group by box, followed by the location, and then click on our Dell monitor, and then click on Classroom 1, we right click, select all records, press print, and we have all the Dell monitors in Classroom 1. Before we finish, I just want to go over a couple of other options on the print setup screen. On the General tab, we can add a small amount of text to appear on the header of each report. We can add the make and model and concatenate it with a description. However, just be aware that may produce rather long text and not fit on certain reports. Better option would be to install a custom report in that case. You can save your color schemes for later use and back them up. Under the Addresses tab, you can choose to include or exclude certain information from the report. The passes and fails report, we can show the notes and the fail reason, both of which are in the data over here if they've been entered, and we can show the fails in red. On the certificate tab, we can add a certificate number and a prefix. We can change the certificate date to read only the month and the year, not the exact day of testing. And we can show the date tested, not the valid until date. We can also add some certificate text, which I've already done here. We click OK and preview that. You can see the certificate number in the top right, date tested instead of valid until, and only the month and year, and the text we entered is displayed in the middle.